What's up, guys? Andy, Forestine Runner here, back with another When Collaborators Collide. This is obviously the normal live stream slot that we do, but tonight I thought we'd do something different, bringing back the collaboration. And tonight we are talking to Rich from the channel Baze187. Mate, Rich, welcome to the show.
Hi, Andy. Thanks for having me on, mate.
Right, Rich, whilst I get everything set up here and get the chat loaded up, do you want to give everyone a bit of an intro into yourself, the channel, and how you got into running?
Yeah, sure. Okay, I started running in about 2009. So my mum had survived breast cancer at the time. I really just wanted to do something to give back to breast cancer charities. So I actually phoned them up and just said, what can I do to raise you money? And they suggested I do the Great North Run, which is a half marathon in the UK. I had absolutely no idea what that was or what that meant, but I just went for it. And I spent about 6 months training and completed the Great North Run. I did it in just under 2 hours, raised about £1,300 for charity. I was really happy. And then I stopped running at that point. I spent a couple of years off running. And what I'd done is I'd lost loads of weight and stuff when I was running. And then after a couple of years off running, I realised I was putting weight back on. I was feeling sluggish and everything. So I took up running again, and this time I'd say that's when I took it up properly. I took it up for me and for my own choice to do it. So I set myself a goal of running the London Marathon in 2012. I trained for that, and I managed to do that in 3 hours 43. And it's just progressed on from there, really. Over the years, I've run numerous different marathons, different half marathons. I've done Comrades Ultra as well. And I set up my YouTube channel. Like, I've had a YouTube account since about 2007, but I didn't really do anything with it until about 2016. That was when I was going to run the Great Wall of China Marathon, and I wanted to make sure I could capture that and, you know, have some memories of that. So I thought video was the best way to do it. And I started to experiment with making videos about running, and my channel kind of developed from there. And after doing a few videos about races and things, just to practice how to make videos for China, I really got into it, and I've kept the channel going way beyond China. And I've got all kinds of different videos up there now, so I'm really enjoying doing it.
Mate, it's such an inspiring story, and obviously I know I did your website, I read your biography. I do encourage everyone to go over and check out. In fact, what I'm going to do next time you're talking is I'm going to pop into the chat. There are a few people saying good evening, and I'll drop your website link in there because it's definitely worth the read. And the China Marathon, I mean, you've done some races. In fact, actually, before we get into it, let's list some of your, let's say, dream races that you've done that lots of people will be extremely jealous about, including myself. So you've obviously done the Great Wall Marathon, you've done Comrades in South Africa, you've run London Marathon multiple times. What else have you done?
Yeah, so that's the main big ones really at the moment. Most of my other sort of marathons I've done are all UK-based marathons. So I've done the Chester Marathon, I've done the Thames Meander Marathon, and then I've done loads and loads of half marathons with like those big city event feels to them. So I've done like London Landmarks half, Reading half. I've done all sorts of different halves really.
That's awesome, mate.
But yeah, China was definitely kind of what started me off with traveling and running abroad and trying to see the world at the same time as running, and sort of combining the passions of traveling and running together.
Haven't you got a trip abroad later this year, which I'm not going to say, but didn't we talk about it earlier?
Yeah, I don't mind saying it. It's not a big secret.
I know you haven't said it, so I didn't want to say it, but you are going back abroad later this year, aren't you?
Yeah, I am. I'm going to Frankfurt later in the year to do the Frankfurt Marathon. It was sort of a plan B to do in Berlin, because I wanted to do Berlin with it being one of the 6 World Marathon majors, but you have to ballot for that, and I didn't get in, and I felt really disappointed. So I thought, right, I'm still going to go and do one in Europe. And I've gone for Frankfurt, mainly because there's a park run on the Saturday in Frankfurt at 9 a.m. Then at 10 a.m. there's a 5K pretzel run that's organised by the Frankfurt Marathon, and then on the Sunday you've got the marathon. So I thought, what an awesome weekend of running.
Cool, mate. That's gonna be mind blowing. Just before we get on to some more technical questions about filming gear and stuff, let's see who's in the chat. There's quite a few of you in there. So we've got Matthew saying good evening. We've got Jack saying good evening. Mate, if I apologise your name wrong, I'm really sorry. Obviously, we talk a lot on Facebook. Guillaume, I think. He has an epic channel, and he's actually really inspirational to me. He's got an amazing channel, and he travels a lot, and he does some insane ultra distances. So good evening, mate. I hope you're well. I think he's tuning in from France, so that's even more epic. We've got Brian from Rossa Runs, Chris 40 Runs. Jeffrey Chisnell, Katie or Kelly is in the house tonight. And yeah, so all of you guys are watching, so all eyes on you, mate. So let's get back to it. So let's get into the evolution of your channel. You started off as China, as you said. You started off recording and you did that. I mean, what a way to start. I mean, that's like, I started my channel recording a rubbish little run around the Forest of Dean, whereas you started with China. So you had high expectations from there onwards.
Yeah.
How's it progressed and developed? Because I know you don't just solely keep the channel. It's predominantly running. I'd say it's probably 90% running, isn't it? But what's the evolution been of the channel?
So I sort of started out with the idea of like daily vlogging. I think would have been, if I was honest about it, when I started, I was watching people like Casey Neistat. And Ben Brown, I don't know if you've ever watched him, but
yeah,
daily vloggers, and I was really into there, just like 5 or 10 minutes of escapism a day. And it was watching Casey's channel that kind of really got me interested in the way he puts things together, the shots that he takes, and just the edits. And I'd see something on there, and I'd think, Christ, how's he done that? You know, and then I'd spend ages trying to figure it out. And it was actually Casey Neistat's fault, really, that I started off doing YouTube, because he had a giveaway on his channel to win a drone, basically, and I won this drone. So I ended up having a Skype call with him, and he sort of announced to me over the Skype call, I've won this drone. He holds it up, you know, and so it was like totally mental. I come off of a night shift. I was in my kitchen on my phone, and then I thought it was going to be somebody from Casey Neistat's office to talk to me about being in the final of this competition. That's what the emails had said, and bang, it was Casey on the screen. So I'd won this drone, and he sent it to me and everything.
That is so epic.
And I thought, well, I've got this cool drone now. It was a Phantom 3 Professional I got, but I didn't really have a good camera. I just had my phone, so I thought about trying to make a video with my phone, and I tried to run with my phone. It didn't really work out. So I just thought, right, if I'm going to go to China and make a good video, I need a GoPro really, or something like that. So I started doing my research, and at the time, the GoPro Hero 4 was the top end GoPro that was out. So I went for the Hero 4 Silver, mainly because the batteries could be swapped in and out, and most of the other models that wasn't possible. So I figured that would be the best camera. And then, of course, you've got all these different mounts that you can try. So I just literally went on Amazon and I bought like one of every type of mount that I could find. And I tried a shoulder mount, like up here. I tried the chest mount, and actually did make a video before, like what was the best mount to use for running. And I found the head mount with it just sat here to be the best one for me. So I started using that. And then my first actual race video was the Cardiff Half Marathon, which in 2016, it was the IAAF World Half Marathon Championships as well.
I did that one, mate. I did that one.
I remember you saying, and obviously Cardiff's normally in like the autumn, but they put the same route on in the spring to host the World Champs. So I sort of did a proper vlog of that. You know, I was going around, and in the morning I was like trying to film myself boiling the kettle, putting a tea bag in the cup, and trying to edit all together and make a real vlog of it, like a bit like Casey Neistat would. And it was good. It was good for me, and the creative process, and just learning how to use the camera and do different shots and edit and get it all tight in the editing. So it was very good practice. But by the end of that video, you know, the whole video was really long, and I just realised like people don't really give a toss about me making a coffee or eating a porridge or all that kind of stuff. You know, yeah, it's good for me to make it, but it's not really watchable. So I kind of changed up what I did, and I tried to get like straight into the race really now when I'm doing a race video. Just kind of a quick couple of seconds. It's me there on the start line. I'm at this race today. Bosh, off we go, you know, and get people straight into it. And that was one of my early learning curves, I think, with video making. It's like you've got to get to the content people have turned up for quick. Otherwise, they're going to click away from your video and go on to something else, you know.
Definitely, mate. People have such short attention spans, and I think the interesting, just going back to the Casey Neistat thing, I remember you messaging me that, and that's so awesome. And a lot of people, you're actually in a video on his channel, aren't you?
Yeah, I am. Yeah, it's all guaranteed to make you smile. And
It's so cool.
There was another young girl who won like I think it was a Canon 80D camera, and then another lad won one of those boosted boards that he rides all the time. So yeah, he gave away the 3 things and like 3 Skype calls. It's an awesome feel-good video to watch. So
yeah, definitely, mate, and that's so good. And it's really, I mean, I've watched a lot of your videos, and I've gone back through your back catalogue and watched a lot, and I have seen an evolution. I know exactly what you mean. I think as if we talk on the creator level, we know people have attention spans the size of a gnat, and if you don't deliver what they want, and the analytics don't lie, they show you at what point people drop off, if your video's good, if it's not, and it really, if you study that side of things, it really makes it interesting. As you say, it's all well and good trying to do these cinematic shots like Casey, but I think I've tried that a few times, and actually what I think I've learned from that, the same as you, is that people want that stuff if they've rocked up to a daily vloggers channel. But if they've rocked up to my channel and want to see a half marathon, a marathon, and 10K, they're not too interested in the bump around the outside. They want to see the race, they want to see what it's like. And I think going to a specific vlogger's channel makes that sort of stuff interesting, because hey, that, like you said, that's your 5-10 minutes a day of just going watching that stuff. Whereas for runners following us, they're not so in. I might put like me doing my shoes up and putting my socks on and stuff like that, but other than that, it's going to take 30 seconds to a minute at the beginning of a video, and that's it. I'm not going to faff around with anything else. I remember doing like a 12-minute video of a race, and then the first 6 minutes weren't of the race, it was just the build-up, and the analytics just like after 3 minutes went rule. So I learned never to do that again.
Yeah, exactly. And it's a bit, you know, I reckon I looked at my analytics, and it said that probably 99% of my views do come from non-subscribed viewers. So what I believe that is people who perhaps after the race are searching around for photographs and video of the race to see if they can spot themselves and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And they're actually interested in the race, and you know they don't really care about me or my time or what I did. You know, when it's a race video, which is mainly what I do on my channel, I think it is about the race and the event. It's not really about the individual. You're sort of like the host to the video, but no one's really interested in me or my journey throughout that day, or you know, watching a pair of train doors open and me stepping on the train or whatever, those kind of shots. Yeah. But I think if you're doing a vlog, yeah, great, do that stuff. But it's not for race videos, I don't think.
Yeah, that's a good point, actually, mate. I think putting the word vlog in the title alludes to the fact that that content, you know, if you put Reading Half Marathon, then you're going to think that you're going to rock up and watch a video about the Reading Half Marathon. If you put race day vlog of the Reading Half Marathon, then people will expect the bump. I guess it's all about labeling it correctly. Guys, listen, whilst we're talking here, any questions for Rich? Because obviously when we get to the end of the questions, we are going to, or my questions, we're going to fire your questions at him. So if you've got any now, do put them in the chat. I'm just going to nip back to the chat now, mate, because there are more people tuning in. There are now 14 people watching mine and yours ugly mug.
Nice. Hi, everyone.
We've got Alan in. We've got some more usernames. I'm just going to read them out. We've got Hellbringer X in saying good evening. We've got the Running Allergist. Good evening, mate. Thank you all for tuning in. Really appreciate it. Actually, that's really interesting. So Guillaume said, obviously, yes, he is tuning from France, and he said in response to you, GoPro 4 is still today the best in the business, indestructible. I mean, yours is still going strong, isn't it?
Yeah, it is going strong. I actually saw you mentioned in one of your videos the other day about having an SD card error when you were recording.
Yes.
That's something I've experienced with the GoPro Hero 4, but it's what I think it is when you delete the clips one at a time using the delete function. I think what you have to do is just use the format function to just format that SD card within the GoPro, and then it kind of sets it up ready how the GoPro wants it for the next record.
I did a format of the memory cards, and I did a factory reset of the GoPro. I remembered all the settings I had, and it's working again. So I think you're right, mate. That's exactly what I did.
Yeah.
Okay, so obviously,
but other than that, yeah, the GoPro Hero 4 is pretty indestructible. I've dropped it a few times and all that in the casings, and yeah, it's absolutely fine.
it is these GoPros are a great bit of kit, mate. They really are. So that leads me on to kit. You've alluded to a GoPro Hero 4. You've alluded to a drone. Do you have anything else in your armor in terms of kit wise? You've talked about GoPro attachments. So you've probably seen Rich's videos, but you have the head mount and you have great success with that. I've never had success. It bounces around a lot of mine, but you use a visor and you sit it on the visor, don't you? And you said to me that keeps it quite stable. That's a pretty good tip for a lot of people, actually.
Yeah, wearing a peaked hat that's quite a solid peak definitely keeps the camera more steady than without the peak. And then I do stabilise the imagery in the editing as well because it's impossible to keep it perfectly still. You've always got that slight
Yeah.
you can get a bit seasick watching it, can't you? So I try to stabilise it as much as possible in editing. And to do that, I load the video onto YouTube. And then once it's on, you've got like an enhancements tab within the editing, and you can just click on there for stabilization, and it will stabilize the video for you.
Oh, super. That is something I've learned as well. I stabilize it within my software, and I've got a Hero 5 and that's got inbuilt stabilization. So that does a relatively good job, but I didn't know YouTube did it as well. So I'll have a look at that, mate. Software wise, what do you use?
So if I'm shooting on my iPhone, I'll use iMovie. And then if I'm using my GoPro or the drone, they can both be edited in the GoPro Studio.
Yeah.
And what I used to do is I used to edit iPhone on iMovie and load that onto YouTube. Then I used to use GoPro and GoPro Studio, put that onto YouTube. And then I used to put it together using the online YouTube editor.
Yeah.
I've took that away now, so that caused me a real issue at first. So you have to start playing around and adapting. So what I've found now is if I put the GoPro footage into Dropbox and then pull it onto my phone or something like that, and then I can edit it all in iMovie.
Right.
But
okay.
GoPro Studio doesn't like iPhone footage. It won't play the sound for some reason. So I don't know how to get around that. So unless if someone else watching does, let me know.
Yeah. Okay. No, okay, guys. If you know the answer to that, can you use the GoPro recording software with any other types of clips other than being recorded on a GoPro? I've never used that software, to be honest with you, mate, but I do know a few. I mean, I know James uses it. He says it's a good bit of kit and it's free, isn't it?
Yeah. It's free. Just download it off GoPro website.
Awesome. Right. Okay. Any hints? Any tips for everyone watching in terms of not just channel growth, but channel development? Is there anything, without giving your secrets away, that you've learnt along the way? I mean, the great point that we touched on is, as you said, audience retention and knowing what people want to see and what they don't. But is there anything else that you might be able to shed any light on for anyone that might be watching?
Yeah, really. So I don't know if any of you guys out there are using YouTube cards at all on your videos, but that can be quite a good way to retain viewers on your channel. So when you go to your analytics section in Creator Studio, down the left-hand side, you'll see an audience retention button within there. You can click on any video within that, and you can actually see where it is in the video people are clicking away. You'll notice on the graph that it will just drop off like that. So say it's, I don't know, 2 minutes 44, there's a big drop in audience retention. Add one of the YouTube cards into the video, just say about 2 minutes 42, just before that drop off point, and add a card to one of your other videos. Make it relevant, obviously. So if you're doing a video about I don't know, strengthening your quads or something, and you've got more than one video about that, then put a card in. So as it gets to the point where people are clicking away anyway, because the analytics is telling you that's when they're clicking away, why don't suggest them a card? They click on that and they stay on your channel to one of your other videos. or you can do it to a playlist as well. So, you know, get them onto one of your playlists, which may lead them onto watching more than one video in that playlist as well. And I watch, there's one channel that I watch, which I'd recommend everybody look at, is called Nick Nimmin, Nimmin for the surname. Nick Nimmin is basically a YouTuber who tells you how to improve your YouTube channel. He's not a runner at all, but he knows his stuff when it comes to YouTube. So this is where I pick up little bits and bobs like that I've just gone through. And yeah, there's an absolute wealth of information there about how to grow your channel.
That's awesome, mate. I've never heard of it. I mean, I watch channels. I watch a few channels. What's the other one you've recommended to me before?
Oh, that's Think Media TV.
Think Media. Think Media are a good one, aren't they? The chap on there, he's quite good. And I've watched a few videos like that, and you know, they do talk a lot of sense. But you know, being a web designer, obviously I have a good understanding of SEO and search engine optimization, and I know YouTube is a Google product, so I know that a lot of algorithms are similar, and I do understand a lot of it. But just as much as that, on the flip side, they change it just as quick as a trend might be happening. So if someone says one day, hey, look, if you do X, Y, and Z, then this is going to help, you can guarantee in a year's time that will be null and void, and it will be something else. So it's really important to keep on top of, you know, follow these types of channels if you want to continue your growth, I guess, and see what the latest tips are. Because you can go on these channels and it will say, best tips to grow your YouTube channel in 2016, 2017, 2018, and I guarantee you in each of those videos, most of the tips will be completely different.
Yeah, exactly. And, you know, Nick Nimmin does live streams as well once a week. He'd do about a 6-hour live stream where he will actually review Pete. So you can type in the comments there, you know, Nick, will you check out my channel? And if you're lucky and he picks you out the masses of comments, he might review your channel. But at the same time, whilst he's reviewing other people's channels and suggesting to them how they can improve their channels, I'm sat there thinking, I could do that on my channel, you know. So there's all kinds of stuff. And you've got to be careful with these best ways to grow your channel kind of videos, because there's a lot of people out there who are just clickbaiting you to try and get their views up. But, you know, Nick Nimmin actually is a credible guy. I've watched a lot of his stuff, and he's pumping out content all the time. So yeah,
happy days, mate.
Really, for channel growth is go and watch Nick Nimmin.
Happy days. I've got him scribbled down, mate. Final question for you before we whip into the chat room. Future goals and ambitions with the channel. Do you have any?
Yeah, I mean, I want to keep growing it. I absolutely love YouTube. I love the way it connects people. Like, you know, me and Andy met through YouTube. If it wasn't for YouTube, we wouldn't know each other. You know, we went to the Cardiff race. We were at the same race, and we were oblivious to each other being there, you know. But video has brought us together. And having
like true love,
amazing, isn't it? I know, it's a right bromance going on here. but yeah, I think I do want to keep growing the channel. I'd love to get, you know, you see these people getting their 100,000 subscriber plaque. You know, that is the absolute dream in the future. But I don't think it's a realistic dream. I think, you know, if I can keep growing by a few hundred subscribers a year and bring in races and, you know, running review of gear and stuff, and, you know, camera reviews, whatever, all the content that I do make. I mean, I got one video, which is I broke my drone, you know, and I figured out how to fix it. So I made a video about me fixing it, and that's had so many views. And I get comments all the time from people saying, oh, thank you so much. I was about to throw my drone in the bin, and, you know, now it works again. I just think that's brilliant. You know, you can help people with YouTube. So
that's so cool, mate. That is so awesome. And I think from your channel's perspective, and I think it's what a lot of people strive to do, is you've hit that first hurdle. You've hopped over that 1,000 mark. And I think for a lot of new channels, 1,000 is like a really lofty. I mean, you say 100,000. That's not unachievable for anyone. Anyone can do anything if they really put their mind to it. But I think when you're new and you're looking to get traction, you look for 50, you look for 100, you look for 200, 3, 4, 5, 6, and so on. But I think 1,000 is quite a milestone. I think getting into 4 figures is massive, and I think it's at that stage that you really start to pick up traction. And I know you hit 2,000. What was it? Only. Was it a month ago? Less than that, maybe. You were already on 2.2.
Yeah,
So
I think in the last month I've picked up an extra 200 subscribers, but I do know that a lot of that is down to the fact I was a guest on the Marathon Talk podcast, and after that went out, I think I picked up 100 subscribers within a few days or so, because that would be all the people who were listening to that podcast, because they've got a massive following on that podcast. So
yeah, no, that's awesome, mate. And I guess it's putting yourself out there a little bit as well. Right, let's go into the chat, mate. Let's see who we have questions for. Oh, mate, loads of people commenting. Let's go back to where we got up to. Brian Rosserun said he uses a GoPro Session 4 and my crappy phone to video. I love how you are using cool gear to maximize the quality of your videos. That is very true. Hellbringer X says, but that's what YouTuber Creators Academy says to do, which I'm with you guys. I'm not that interested in all the prep before a race. But do I really need to see shoelaces going up? Yeah. Do you know what? If I ever do that in the future, I'll make sure I put the word vlog in it so that you know there's going to be a bit of rubbish around the outside. Yadi says, good evening, mate.
evening.
GoPro's 5 session with a wrist strap mount on the back of the hand. Who's, Sugar, what's the chap running the Brighton Marathon that we met at the National Expo? Running, oh my goodness. Chris, here we are running. He's just used a wrist strap, hasn't he? I've never seen a wrist strap, so that's quite interesting. I might have to check that out.
Once it was like a glove, and it parked on my hand here, and it was when I was riding a banana boat, basically, because if I was trying to hold onto a tripod or something and come off the banana boat, you know, I could have lost the camera. So it was to a glove mount, like on the back of a hand.
I just got a vision of you on a banana boat now. Right.
If you want to picture me with no shirt on, Andy, that's your business, you know.
First question, mate, from Jack. Rich, how do you pick which races you enter abroad? Do you go specifically for the race, or do they just coincide with something with training? Is there any race location on your bucket list?
Okay, so with China, basically I saw the promotional video of the Great Wall Marathon, and the Great Wall is somewhere I've always wanted to go anyway. Ever since I was a kid, I just wanted to go there, and I just thought, you know, what a great way to go to that place I've always wanted to go to and do that race. And you know, that kind of just jumped out at me from the internet when I saw it. It's like, I have to do that race. With Comrades, it was a case of I wanted to do an ultra, but I always want to test myself. I don't want to take the easy option, you know, and do a 50K, which is technically an ultra because it's over marathon distance, but, you know, only just. That's not really me. I'm like, I want to go somewhere that's really fast. So it's like more than 2 marathons. It's 5,000 feet of ascent. It's hot. I just thought, yeah, that's it. You know, real challenge. And I loved that race when I heard about it. So had to go for that one as well.
That's awesome, mate. Absolutely awesome.
In the future, I've got, I want to do the 6 World Marathon Majors for sure, but that's a kind of cost thing and time thing, getting it done. But I've also seen another race I'd like to do, which is in Russia, which is on a frozen lake, a marathon on a frozen lake.
Whoa.
So, yeah, given the current Britain-Russia situation, I don't know how long that's going to take me to get that one done, but yeah, that's on the list.
That's awesome, mate. That is so cool. Brian Rosserun says, do you use a training plan for your races? And also a follow-on question for that, what video gear do you use in your races? So I'm guessing the video gear is obviously going to be your GoPro, but what do you use? Are you a training plan man?
Yes and no. I mean, in the past, I've used training plans to great success. I wanted to do a sub 3 hour marathon, and I followed a training plan for that. And I got to 3:03, so I was close. But I haven't used them recently. My training recently has been very unstructured, and I haven't been gunning for times. It's been a balance between family and running, because when I was training really hard and following plans and everything, I was sacrificing a lot of family time. So you can't maintain that forever. Otherwise you end up divorced, don't you? So
yeah, I know that feeling.
you've got to have some balance. So over the last couple of years, it's all been very unstructured and not really focused on time goals. But I think I might be getting to the point now where I want to move back that way and start following some plans again.
Yeah, just a 3-month block or something would do some good. Right, guys, we've literally got 2 or 3 minutes left on this live stream, so I'm going to fire through. Rich, mate, this is going to be quick fire questions now. Malloy Runner, good evening, mate. He is asking, you may or may not want to answer this, it's up to you. What do you do for a living?
I'm not going to answer that question, unfortunately.
That's fine. Brian Rosser runs, do you have a go-to other social media outlet to advertise your channel? That's interesting. Instagram, Facebook groups?
Yeah, so I've got Twitter, Instagram, and a Facebook page, all under Baze187, and it's all sort of branded the same, named the same, which was one of the tips that I've picked up along the way, that you need to be easily recognised on all platforms. Consistency is key, mate.
Sorry, I'm getting a lot, mate. There's so many people commenting. Chris 40 runs just asked quickly, how's your ankle, and are you all set for London?
Yeah, the ankle's not great, if I'm honest. It's I've not run on it properly for a good few weeks now. I'm touch and go with London. I mean, I can defer the place right up to the last minute, so I am going to leave it as late as possible, but I may have to defer till 2019 on London if it doesn't improve. Not good, but you've got to live to run another day, haven't you?
Yeah, exactly, mate. Exactly, you do. You've got to be sensible, haven't you? Kyle, mate, good evening. 1,000 equals incredibly daunting, doesn't it just, mate? Totally agree. The running allergist, I've hit a massive milestone of 20 subscribers. Good for you. That's awesome. Every milestone is a milestone for each of us, and we all go through the stages. So 30 minutes, 40, 50.
The Casey Neistat analogy of just keep uploading, just keep uploading.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Right, questions. There are other comments, guys. I'm really sorry. I'm skipping some of them, but I am just trying to pick out the questions. And Malloy Runner, I don't know if you missed the start, mate. I did ask Rich what made him to start running. So if you watched when this video is uploaded, the beginning of that, also check out his website. He's got a great biography on that as to why he started. Joe Milton, good evening, mate. I hope you're well. Hi, I just did a 1K time trial, 2:57. That was the shortest race ever. That is a pretty short race, mate. And
that's awesome impressive time.
Awesome time. Guilherme says the Baikal Marathon. Is he referring to? Is that the one in Russia?
Yeah.
Right, okay. He's on the same wavelength as you, and actually, that's probably the exact type of race he does. Because I don't know if you follow his channel, mate. You really need to. He does some epic long distance runs, and I'm not just talking like 100Ks. I mean, he runs. He does these loop races that he'll run well over 100K on. He's an insane ultra runner. Absolutely incredible.
I'll find you in the comments after, mate.
Yeah, no, do check him out. I'll message you his channel. Chris 40 says that's not cool. I'm wishing you a speedy recovery. That's very good. Yeah, and totally agree on the milestones. Right, guys, that is it for all the questions. If you have any more, quickly type them in now whilst we wrap this up. And whilst we do wrap it up, I just want to say, guys, thank you so much for watching tonight. I hope you've enjoyed tonight's show. Rich has been a fantastic guest, and it's been great to do this third episode in the series. No more questions coming in now, mate, so we're going to wrap this up. Let me get off the chat and go back to you. So Rich, mate, thanks again so much for joining.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for everyone who's tuned in and watched as well. I hope you've learned something or it's been helpful in some way. And if you want to ask me any questions afterwards, then just find me on the social media, Baze187.
Awesome, mate. Awesome. Listen, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Once again, really appreciate it. If you enjoyed this video and you want to see more of this type of content, if you like me asking other content creators questions, do give this video a thumbs up and let me know you enjoy it. That'd be super. Do like, as I said, the video, subscribe to the channel for weekly running content. And that's it from me. Have a nice night.